Hello, I'm Anja. I'm exploring happiness. And I came across quite a lot of concepts. I've put them into a framework, the pillars of happiness. And this is the second pillar. This video is about the second pillar, mind. I'm recording 3 videos which belong into that pillar. And this is the second video. It is about positive and negative emotions and positive psychology and a lot of, it's quite the main influence of that. I'm not a psychologist. But before we get started, if you watch this video and haven't watched any of mine, first of all, there's also videos about the other pillars. I've already recorded the body pillar videos. And I always ask in the primary school level, kindy level, can we be friends? Just so that I can be a bit casual. Can we be friends? So because I'm quite casual, also I can peek at my notes because I've tried all kinds of things, but they don't work for me. Notes work. Sometimes I look a little bit at that also to catch my breath and my thought. And these hands, I have to film like this, and they appear and they look very detached, but they are mine. See, my hands. Let's go. Positive and negative emotions. So in positive psychology, I know there's discussion about calling them positive and negative emotions, because negative emotions are not necessarily negative, and positive emotions are pretty positive. But let's just do this, okay? Positive emotions, negative emotions are based on 3 emotions. So there's usually, let me get started again. All the emotions we have, annoyance, anger, rage, calm, joy, and so on, are nuances of what they have identified, researchers have identified as 4 or sometimes 6 basic emotions. Happiness, anger, sadness, fear, and maybe disgust and curiosity. I stick to the 4. And that's all. Everything else is nuances of that. So negative emotions are all nuances of anger, sadness, and fear. So just a bit nervous or panic. That's, the spectrum also of fear. Sadness is like just a little bit, down or really depressed. And a bit annoyed to rage is the spectrum for anger. So negative emotions is everything which happens in there. And it's when we go into a tunnel view and we are focused on something, a threat. Sounds familiar? Yes, it's like the sympathetic nervous system, which I talked about in the body pillar. It's the flight, fight, or freeze state. Because negative emotions are a signal, danger, or threat. It's the expression from the limbic system of this alert. Positive emotions are everything which is kind of in the bandwidth of happiness. That can be calm, joy, awe, interest, fun, hope. All this is in the bandwidth of happiness, and that's positive emotions. And that's when our horizon broadens, when we can see opportunity, when we can connect, the parasympathetic nervous state. So I followed Barbara Fredrickson, who's a positive psychologist, and she talks a lot about, and I mean, positive psychology does that in general, like positive psychologists do that, but I followed particularly her. And she said that most of the day we actually, we experience more positive emotions than negative. That might be just mild, mild positive. But you also know that, right? The day was okay, and then something happened and everything went down. It's called negativity bias because we react more to threat, which is negative emotions, and register that more because it's more important for survival. And that that can override everything else. So what Barbara Fredrickson found was that you have to have like a ratio of 3 or 4 to 1 positive to negative emotions to be happy. And what is possible is to make happy positive emotions or positive moments. And I mean, that's really it, right? Life is moments. So if you make them positive, if it's in your control, and go back to the video of happiness beliefs, that happiness is in your control. So you can make positive emotions. You can make positive moments. So the easiest way, even that might not be easy for you, but it's to generate gratitude. That's why it's such a big thing in happiness studies. Because if you can feel grateful for anything, it's a positive emotion, and it brings you to positive thinking. It brings you to, oh, there's something good. So your horizon goes from, oh, there's something good. It opens. You have a positive emotion. You have a positive moment. It's not all bad. That's what gratitude does. And even if you go like, well, the tea I had was not too bad. Yeah, it's already good. So it just works like that. Nice, huh? Can be easy. Okay, so in my next video, I'm going to talk about presence and mindfulness. It's also the last video of the mind pillar.